Good morning and welcome back to JPTV. If you are new here to my channel, thank you so much for joining me today. Please subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell so that way you are notified every time I upload a new video. Today we're going to be doing just a quick chit chat, get ready with me, where I'm going to be sharing my story about my visit to the Whaley House in San Diego. It's definitely going to be exciting. You're not going to want to miss it. If you love hearing about haunted houses, you're going to love this video. And you probably will notice that I am in a totally different outfit. My hair looks different. My makeup's somewhat similar, except for my lipstick's changed. And that is because I forgot to film my intro video. So here I am, Sunday morning, refilming it because I want to get this video up. Again, if you're new here to my channel, welcome. And without further ado, let's get started. All right, so let's jump right in. So first of all, I just kind of want to apologize that I haven't posted a video. We had something really tragic happen in our family a couple weeks ago, and so it's just been a transitional time. Just trying to kind of get my footing, and so I figured to just kind of transition back into my videos that I would do just a quick chit chat, get ready with me, and talk about something fun that I did last weekend while I get ready. So just like in every other video, I'm going to go ahead and link all the products down below that I'm using, and without further ado, let's get going. So all right, so many of you probably remember, if you've watched all of my videos, that in my very first video I talked about how I had created this bucket list of things that I wanted to do, and one of them was ghosts, or not ghost hunting, but like haunted tours. So there's several haunted places around the US and actually in other countries that I definitely want to be able to visit. And so one of the places on my list was the Whaley House in San Diego. So if you haven't heard of the Whaley House, it is one of the first buildings built in San Diego in the late 1800s. Thomas Whaley and his family actually moved in there, I think like in 1860, between 1860 and 1870. And they, didn't know at the time when they moved in there that, the place that they were moving into, or the house that they were moving into, was built on grounds that used to be place where they would put to death people. So they were gallows, so where they would hang people to death. And so the place is said to be haunted by a man who was hung there before the house was built. And so, but they didn't know that when they moved in. So they, came from New York to San Francisco, and then from San Francisco to San Diego. And when they moved in, it was just, Thomas Whaley and his wife. And they ended up having 6 children while they lived there. And just mysterious things started to happen. So they started to claim that they would hear heavy footsteps going up and down the stairs. They claim to have seen the man who was killed, and I don't remember his name off the top of my head. I'm just gonna check it out right here. I have it written down. His name was James Yankee, Jim Robinson. I guess his nickname was James Yankee. And they claim to have seen him, and just a lot of mysterious things happened while they lived there. Outside of seeing things, just a lot of deaths in the house. So they had 6 children, and one of their children, Thomas Whaley Jr., died at the age, I think it was 18 months, of scarlet fever. So that was the first thing that happened. And then, that was it for a while. The kids grew up. They actually moved back to San Francisco for a time being because there was a fire at the house. And so it had to be restored. So they moved back to San Francisco for a while. And then once the house was completed and restored, they came back. And the house actually was the town's first theater was inside. So the cool thing about the house is that it wasn't just a house, but it also was like a liquor store. It was the city's first courthouse. And upstairs there was a theater, which was the city's first theater as well. So it kind of housed, I mean, the guy was smart. He thought, what can I do, to start a business? And he did it all through his home, which is really, really cool. So that's kind of the history of the Whaley House. And then eventually, as their kids got older, like one of their other daughters, Violet, she got divorced from her husband and went through like some depression, and she ended up committing suicide on the grounds. And it's said that she actually haunts the grounds as well. That some people have claimed to see her up in the window, one of the bedroom windows, like behind the house. So that's pretty creepy. But anyway, so last weekend was my company. Every year, except for obviously last year with COVID, we didn't do it, but every year our VP will take the managers on a retreat, all the managers in his region. And this year he decided to really just kind of do it to say thank you for, just the great year that we've had. And then he invited our spouses as well. So that was really, really cool. And so we went last weekend, and I had written down in my book that was the Whaley House was a place I wanted to go. And so, of course, after my trip to the Winchester house, my husband was like, I don't know about this haunted house stuff. He's so funny. He's like, he thought it was so cheesy that he's like, I don't really believe in it. But he was like, he did tell me, can you find like some more places that we can go that are haunted, for real, that will give us that kind of experience. So I told him about the Whaley House, and he was just very reluctant. So, you guys, I know it kind of looks crazy now, but I'm going to definitely blend it out. So I'm turning the brush around, and then this is the side. It's clean, so I'm going to use it to blend it out. But anyways, I had asked him, and he was kind of like, So anyway, we went to San Diego, and we were having so much fun. So on Saturday night, I had told him I wanted to go during the day, and then it just didn't happen. So at nighttime, I had texted one of my coworkers that was there, and I said, hey, because he had told me about this Mexican place in downtown San Diego. So I'm like, hey, what's that Mexican place called? And he's like, oh, it's called the Old Town Mexican Restaurant. So, he's like, but I'm here now. And he's like, and they're doing nighttime tours at the Whaley House right now. He's like, I'm just saying, if you want to come down here. So I got really excited, and I was like, all right, let's go eat dinner, and then I'll just kind of like spring it on my husband at the last minute. So we went with another couple to dinner. And so after we were done eating dinner, my friend Melissa, she was like, let's go across the street. Let's check out the Whaley House. So we went over there, and we walked in, and they're like, oh, this is the last tour of the day. Do you guys want to go? And then, we both were like, with our husbands, please, 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 we want to go in. And both of our husbands were kind of like, But anyway, we were like super, super excited. So we paid, and, quite frankly, like most of the time, nothing really happened. Like it was kind of not like the Winchester house. It was in a sense of, your tour guide is kind of giving you the history. It could get, a little cheesy at one point. But it was fun. It was definitely different. And it's a small house, so the tour didn't take that long. So what they do is they basically take you through each of the rooms. And the first room is the courthouse, and I didn't really sense or feel anything there. So, we moved on. But then when we got to the second room, which is the room that was the liquor store that he used to run, and she's kind of telling the story about how he got his liquor license and all that. And then it got really, really quiet. Like she's talking, but it's super quiet. And then I heard this like loud snapping sound, like from behind me. And I'm like standing in the corner. And again, I didn't think much of it because I'm like, nobody else seemed to have heard it because I'm looking around. and like nobody's saying anything. So I'm like, I hit my husband. I'm like, hey, did you hear that? And he's like, hear what? And then I was like, okay, he didn't hear it. So didn't think much of that either. And so we continue to go through the house. And all along while we're going through the house, I'm taking all kinds of pictures, okay? And you know, I've had my iPhone for a long time, and so I know how to take pictures, okay? I'm just gonna put that out there. So in one of the rooms, which was the theater room, you know, I thought I had kind of saw something behind the curtain, so I took pictures of the theater, like from my viewpoint sitting here, like in front of me. And, you know, I didn't really look at the picture, you know, till later, but, you know, I took a picture of the theater because I wanted to see if I could see anything in it, because they basically were saying that a lot of people say that they don't really see anything as they're going through the home, but they do when they look back at pictures that they took. So that's why I wanted to make sure that I took, you know, as many pictures as possible. So, so then we ended, after we went through the upstairs, we ended downstairs in the room where the actual gallows were. So before the house was built, so in the living room, there's like this big arch, and that's supposedly where the gallows were. And it was just super creepy. So before we walked into that room, everybody had gone in there and were kind of waiting for me to finish. But I was in the hallway getting some pictures of like the hallway, and there was a mirror, and I wanted to get it because every time I watch these like ghost hunting videos, I've noticed that a lot of times when they take pictures in the mirror, they'll see stuff. So I stood right in front of the mirror, got a snapshot of myself, and I remember even looking at the bottom of my screen and seeing the picture, and it looked fine. Like, it didn't look like there was, you know, any issues with my snap. Like, the picture looked fine, right? So we move on, and we finish up outside in the back of the house where she's telling us about Violet's suicide, and you know, how people see her in the window. And so while she's talking, she does mention like, hey, you know, this is the end of the tour. If anybody, you know, sees anything in their videos, you know, let us know, or post it to our Facebook page, and we'll go ahead and, you know, put it on our page. And so I decided to start looking through my pictures, okay? And, you know, my husband's still there and my friends, and we're just standing there. And I'm looking at them. And at first, as I started looking, I saw like a couple pictures that were bad, so I deleted them. I was like, wow, that's terrible. Like, I did a terrible job snapping this picture. And then as I continue to keep looking, though, like every other picture was like that. It was like, I don't know if you've seen the movie The Ring, but it was kind of like that. Like when their faces are distorted, like all my pictures looked like that. Well, not all of them, but like every other one. So we had super clear pictures, and then some that were just so distorted that you couldn't even tell what it was. And the crazy thing is even that picture of me that I took in front of the mirror, it was completely gone, you guys. Like, I don't know what happened to it. It's just completely disappeared. And so, as I was going through them, I mean, one of them could have probably been the mirror, but it was distorted. Like, you really couldn't see what it was. So I was like super creeped out at that point. I was like, whoa, like that's crazy. And it was like, as the night went on, I started thinking about other things that had happened. So my husband's like, tell the lady or show the lady your pictures, you know, so she can see, because she was just talking about, you know, if you have any pictures, you know, we'll post it on our page. Hold on, I can't really talk into my eyeliner. Give me a second. It's too hard. So she was like, you know, if you see anything in your pictures, post them. And so I thought, well, let me show her now. So I went over and I started showing her all my pictures. I was like, look, they're all distorted. And she goes, oh, well, you know what? I hate to burst your bubble, but do you have an iPhone? And it's obvious I have an iPhone. She's looking at my phone. And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, yeah, you know what? Sometimes if you're not still when you're taking photos, the iPhone will take, you know, very distorted pictures. And so then that's when I'm like, yeah, but like, how is it that half of my pictures are like pristine and the other half are just like terrible? And you know, I take pictures with my iPhone all the time. Like, I'm sorry, but I just don't buy that. Just because when I went back and looked at all my pictures, like, I can't tell how my eyeliner looks. I'm gonna actually use a mirror because I'm looking into my camera, so it's really kind of hard. Okay, not too bad. So I just told the lady, like, nah, like, it's just, what are the chances that like half of them are bad? Like, I could see maybe messing up a couple pictures, but it was just really strange. So I'm actually going to, at the end of this video, I'm gonna have clips, kind of end it with all the clips of the crazy pictures that I took that came out, you know, distorted, because I think you guys are gonna see what I mean and you're gonna feel the same way. So it was super creepy. So, okay, so now I'm just gonna kind of clean up all the fallout. So anyway, so yeah, I'm gonna post the pictures at the end for you guys so you can check them out. I mean, super creepy. So it just gets even more kind of creepier as the night goes on. So as I'm looking at the pictures and realizing, you know, like, okay, this is not me. I remember being in, so, okay, so let me go back. So when I was inside the house at one point, I think when I was in the theater, I had wanted to post videos. So I started trying to post online and I could not post online. Like, it kept saying that my internet was not available. I mean, every single site I went on, it wasn't working. And so I noticed my phone automatically was in airplane mode, which is so strange because I didn't turn it into airplane mode. But okay, that happens, right? I mean, I can say that, you know, that could have happened by accident, right? Because, you know, I don't know about you guys, but that's happened to me before where I accidentally turned on airplane mode, right? So I just kind of took it as that, okay, it was an accident. I must have accidentally turned it on. So I put it back on, you know, to regular so that I could post. I took it off airplane mode and I still wasn't able to. And that's what was really, really strange. And me and Melissa, my friend, were just like, what the heck? Like, I was showing her my phone. I'm like, look, I can't get online. And so everybody, like my husband and her husband, were just kind of like, at that point, after seeing the pictures and everything, they were a little weirded out. They were like, oh yeah, that is strange. Because not until we got in the car to go back to the hotel did I really remember about the whole airplane mode thing. It was like stuff started like coming to me, like, oh my gosh, maybe that's why, you know? And, you know, as I've watched different ghost hunters, they have, and it started making sense. Like, I feel like every time they would go into a house, a lot of the issues they would have would be with their electronics. So like all of a sudden, like videos would be like, videos when they would capture something would get deleted automatically, or the spirit would drain the battery out of like their phones that they were filming on or their cameras, and so they weren't able to film, like things like that. And so for me, I thought, oh, I mean, that totally is crazy, you know, and kind of explains my issue. It's all, my issue's all my phone related. Like, it almost as if it didn't want me to post anything. I'm saying it, but you know what I mean, like the spirits, okay? So it's still not working. We get back to the hotel and, you know, we decide to go back to my room because my coworker Melissa wants to just kind of hang out a little bit, hang out on the balcony. And so we get there and, you know, we get into my room. So we get to the hotel room and I go to try to open my door. So you know how we have those electronic key cards? Okay, so I was trying to open the door and it would not open for me. Like, I kept getting that red error, you know, the red color, like a light. And I was like, oh my God, like anything electronic was not working for me. It was the craziest thing. And so I tried it probably at least 5 or 6 times. And then finally, my husband just snatched it from me. And then it worked for him. Like the very first time he opened it, it was crazy. And so again, I'm just like, so weird. So then we go out on the balcony and we're just kind of hanging out and talking, and I'm still trying to get online. I still can't, you guys. I'm not in airplane mode anymore, but it's just like I have no service. It was so strange. But I did notice at the top of my phone, there's like this weird line, like a line under the bars. So I was like, well, I haven't seen this before. So I showed my husband, I'm like, what is this? Is this like have something to do with why I can't get online? And so we start looking around my phone. We go into the settings, and I don't know how I figured it out, but my phone my cellular data had been turned off. Like, you guys, to me, like, I just felt like, okay, this is a sure sign. Like, I didn't turn it on airplane mode. I did not turn my cellular data off. Like, that was just crazy, honestly. Like, and, you know, I was even thinking later, you know, I feel like when it comes to like paranormal things, I almost wonder if they show themselves to people who actually believe that they exist. Because for me, like, I just believe it. You know, I know that demons exist. They're in the Bible. As far as ghosts, the Bible doesn't really talk about that, you know, really per se. So, you know, I can't really say I believe it because it's in the Bible for that instance, but I just believe if there's demons, there's spirits, you know, that we see. Do I believe that it's people from the past? I'm not sure. You know, who's to say? You know, that's something it's one of those questions, you know, when you think, oh, what question am I going to ask God when I get to heaven? That's going to be the one I'm going to ask. So yeah, that's my story of the Whaley House. You know, it was so much fun, and it really got me excited to continue to explore other, you know, locations. And even my husband was like, okay, he's like, now that was fun. And so now he's like all about it. He keeps asking me like, okay, where are we going next? You know, so really excited about that. And I think next on my list is probably going to be the Queen Mary, just because it's here. And in one of Colby and Sam's videos, they were mentioning that they might be shutting down the Queen Mary, probably just for financial reasons. And so I definitely want to get there before they close it. So that's probably going to be the next place that I'm going to go. And so I will definitely, I'm thinking I need to vlog it next time. Like, I wish I would have vlogged this one, because I think that would have been super cool. But I'm just getting started. And so, you know, especially just even with my channel, just getting started, you know, I'm like unsure sometimes, like, what should I vlog? What shouldn't I? Like, you know, because I'm trying to stick to, you know, what I want to do, you know, when it comes to like, you know, this channel. So I'm thinking that I might just have to start another channel that's more like a vlogging channel versus, you know, like a makeup channel. So it's kind of where I'm going with that. So what I'm gonna do for my next video regarding Adnan, so I'd mentioned in my last video that the next one is going to be more, you know, specifics about, you know, all the different, you know, people that testified, like what they said and things like that. And just because of everything that's gone on in the last few weeks, I just haven't had the time to sit down and really prepare for that video. But I didn't want to go like another week without posting a video. So that's why I thought I would do this one. And how appropriate. I just think it was so much fun, you know, going to the Whaley House. And so the fact that this happened, I'm like, oh, it's perfect timing. I can kind of share my experience. I'm also going to link below. There is a movie about it on Netflix called The Haunting of Whaley House, I think. It's kind of cheesy, but you'll get, what I liked about it is that they go into more details in the movie about like what happened, like why they think it's haunted and things like that. So, you know, it was fun. I mean, I love scary movies. And so, you know, I watched it, and I was kind of like, I watched it after I went there, which I thought was super cool because, you know, something about when you watch it after you go, it just has a different, you know, meaning, because I already, you know, knew a little bit about it. And so I just kind of solidified and backed up the story. The lady was a lot of fun too. You know how I'd mentioned that at the Winchester house, you know, our tour guide was a little Disneylandish and just a little over the top. This lady was really, really nice. And you know what was crazy is when I watched the movie, this lady looks just like the tour guide in the movie. There's a tour guide in the actual movie that takes these kids there. And, sorry guys, my blush is over here. And she looks just like her. It was crazy. Oh, you know what? I think I forgot to bring it down. So I'm just gonna use this one. This blush is super light on me. It doesn't really show it very good, but it's just gonna have to do. Basically today I'm just gonna be running around, finishing up Christmas shopping. Pretty much stocking stuffers is like the last thing that I need to do. So that's gonna be my focus for today. But what are you guys doing for Christmas? Anybody has any exciting plans? Going out of town? Staying in because of the new COVID variant? I don't know. I actually just got my oh my gosh, can't even think, my booster shot last night, and I was totally prepared to feel really, really sick today, but I don't actually. I just my arm is sore, and I had a hard time sleeping because my arm hurt so bad, but otherwise I feel fine. So definitely excited to get out today and finish my Christmas shopping. And then I'll probably start working on my next video. I have a birthday party tomorrow, so I definitely can't start tomorrow. But I'm thinking I could probably do, like, if I'm gonna edit it, I can do probably 2 videos and then just like group it together. So I might start on Monday, like as I'm doing my makeup, and just get started and finish it up on Tuesday. So be looking out for that. So I'm just going to be finishing up. Actually, I'm going to use my mirror because the camera's really hard. So just going to finish up with this. So back to Christmas. What is your biggest thing on your wish list? Like, what do you want the most this year? And what are you excited to give this year? Like, is there a gift that you got for somebody that like you're super excited about and you can't wait to get it to them? I'd like to know. Go ahead and post it in the comments below. And then lastly, if you like this video, don't forget to click the like button and subscribe. So that way, and click the notification bell. That way, every time I post a new video, you get a notification. Sorry guys, this is like hard to record and put lipstick on at the same time. So yeah, just press the notification bell and you will get notified every single time I upload a video. And again, thanks for listening to me babble today, and check out the pictures coming up next. Have a good one. Bye.